Matic Polygon, one of the best performers of the 2021-2022 bull market, rallying an incredible 15,000% from bottom to top, round about 1.5 cents all the way up to $3. So obviously not going to be doing that again this cycle. However, there are certainly still some gains to be made. Currently 71% down from all-time highs, and that's after a pretty decent rally over the last 4 weeks as well. So if you've been following along the past few weeks of this week of these altcoin analysis videos, same as always, we're going to be going through the charts, looking at some bullish and bearish scenarios, some potential TP areas, and we're going to be going through both the USDT and the BTC pairings as well. So let's get straight into it. As I say, Matic USDT currently 71% down from all-time highs. Let's get rid of those and zoom in a little bit. So as usual, we've got a nice little range here on the weekly time frame. That's a bit of a messy chart, the Matic chart. However, I've managed to simplify it, as I say, with this little range here. So as you can see, range low down at 43 cents, range high at $1.17, and that mid-range coming in at about 82 cents, which we're currently trying to push through at the moment. And you can see it's been a significant level of support and resistance pretty much since July 2021. You can see the amount of times it's been tested and respected. Similar to the range high and the range low, of course, we've had a little deviation of both. So we had a little deviation of the range low back in June 2022 and a deviation of the range high back in sort of January and Feb of this year. So in terms of bullish and bearish scenarios, it's pretty much a repeat of that. You know, if we lose this weekly range low, not looking good. However, you know, we've got a lot of support here from this consolidation period in 2021, and of course we sort of front run the weekly range low back in October and September before this current 4-week rally, which we are currently up about 60%. So not a bad little rally at all so far. So if you've been packing your bags down here, congratulations. It's exactly what you want to be doing. Buying as low or as close to the bottom as possible, which is what I've been saying in the altcoin videos the past 3 going on 4 weeks now. I'm saying get those bags, start packing those bags before things turn, because things can turn in crypto very quickly, as we're currently experiencing. In terms of bearish scenarios, of course, if we reject this weekly range high, if we get up here and reject, it's very unlikely we get a second deviation. So in range play, it's very rare that you get a double deviation. Normally, you only get the one deviation, and then the second time you break out or break down, it's usually the true move, shall we say. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens once we get up to $1.17. Do we reject or do we blast through? In terms of when I'd like to have my bags packed for an investor, certainly before we get up to this weekly range high, I would like to be fully packed by then. If we then come back down, great, more time to accumulate, but definitely want to have those bags packed before then. Anywhere between sort of here and that weekly range high, of course, as I say, the past couple of weeks, if you're accumulating down towards the weekly range low, that's ideal, but we've still got plenty of room to go. In fact, let's just have a look at what a return to all-time highs from today's current price would be. You're looking at about 250% still to go, and that's just back to all-time highs. Now, of course, as I've said in all my videos, all-time highs aren't a guarantee. A return to all-time highs aren't a guarantee, and certainly not breaking all-time highs. However, it's quite likely. Popular assets such as Matic, no guarantee, as I say, but strong chance of that happening. So let's take a look at some potential TP areas. Now, I'm going to caveat this with saying, of course, that TP areas, when and how you take profit is completely down to the individual and your own personal circumstances. You may not want to take profit at these areas. It's completely up to you, but having a plan of when to take profits is very important because it alleviates, especially if it's your first cycle, it alleviates that psychological pressure of when to take profits and getting caught up in that euphoria. And of course, Bitcoin has often given 30% pullbacks in bull markets. We had a 50% pullback in the last bull run. You don't want to be caught out in that and not having taken anything off the table. And if you have taken some profits, you can then re-inject them back in at the lows. So 3 things you can do with profits. As I say, re-inject them back into the asset at a retest of support. Just simply take them out into your bank account and cash it in. And then thirdly, you can diversify into other projects and spread that risk. So plenty of reasons to take profits, completely up to you, of course, when to do it. This is just a visualization aid. So let's get into the first TP area. First TP area would be breaking out this weekly range high, and I think we very quickly make a run up to around $1.60. Again, you can see clear level of support and resistance. It was actually the top of February, the rally in February of this year. So let's take a quick look at what a return to that price would be from here. Still 90%, almost a double of your money. Not a bad place to take a little bit of profit. as I say, 10% or something like that. We could see a rejection from here again, retest the weekly range higher support. You can then re-inject any capital you want, and then away we go. That's the benefit of taking profits. Next TP area for me would be this level here at about $1.94, so slightly front running $2, and as you can see, clear level of support and resistance again. Let's take a quick look at what a return to that price would be. 135%, not too bad at all. Only two more to go. They're pretty obvious. The top of these spikes from here in May 2021 and back here in November, December 2021, and once things turned around, we got another couple of spikes into this area of $2.43 in January 2022. So a nice key area to take some profits. Again, you could see a rejection from there, retest $2 as support, something like that. So let's just take a look, and that's almost a 2x, as you can see, 200%. And then finally, all-time highs, definitely want to take some off the table there at about $2.90, front running the big psychological level $3, and of course the previous all-time highs. So let's take a look and return to those prices from here, just shy of about 250%, so not too bad at all. And as I say, it's completely up to you when and where you take your profits. You might want to use a strategy of taking it at big round numbers, so taking some at 150, 175, $2, 250, etc. However you do it, it's just important to take profits, because you can't go broke taking profits, and as I say, it alleviates that emotional pressure. Let's move on then to the Matic BTC pair and take a look. So a little bit more simple. Let's go on to the monthly time frame. We can get rid of that. I don't know why that's there. But on the monthly time frame, you can see this monthly range. So you've got a range low down here at 1,722 sats, a mid-range coming in at about 2,100 sats, and a range high coming in at 2,418 sats. Break it down to the weekly for the TPs. So again, similar to Matic USDT, you definitely want to have your bags packed before we breach these range highs or before we test the range highs again, in case we breach out of them at 2,500 sats. Again, if you've been accumulating down here, congratulations, you are up a fair bit. Let's take a look. You're up about 20%. Not too bad, especially when you consider that ETH BTC hasn't been performing that great recently. If you want to learn more about the relationship between Alt BTC, ETH BTC charts, and the Bitcoin dominance, I'll link a video at the end where I explain it more. But let's get into this then. So as I say, what bullish scenarios you really want to see a breakout of this monthly range high and have your bags packed before then. Bearish scenarios, of course, if we break these monthly range lows, which looks very unlikely at the moment. But if that were to occur, then of course you'd probably be looking at something down here around 600-700 sats. But as I say, looks very unlikely at the moment. Let's take a look at TP areas then. First one, not very high, as you can see, up here at around 2,800 sats. So first trouble area, in my personal opinion. You look left, it's clear level of support and resistance, and again, it was the spike or the swing high of July 2023. So again, you could see a bit of a sell-off here, back into the monthly range high as a bullish retest, and away you go. And as I say, you can re-inject those profits back in. Let's take a look at what a return to the price would be. That's about a 25% return, 25 to 30%, not too bad. As I say, take a little bit off, 10% or something like that. It may do you some favors in the long run. Next one up here about 3,600 sats. Again, let's just take a look at what that would be. That's a 65% return. Next one up at 4,500 sats. Again, clear level of support and resistance in the past. Nice big round number as well. Front running 5,000 sats slightly, and you're looking at doubling your Bitcoin stash there. And then finally, the last two, pretty obvious. All these wicks up here at 5,700 sats. As you can see, we only got one single candle close above that level, and then we deviated straight back below. So an important level, 5,700 sats. Again, a return from today's prices today. You're looking at 160%, 155% return on your Bitcoin. And then finally, of course, final TP up at these all-time highs around 6,500 sats, and you are looking at a return from today's prices at 195%. So as you can see, even though we've had pretty big rallies both on the USDT and the BTC pairs, there's still plenty of returns to go. So don't be afraid of packing your bags here. If you've not got any exposure and you want some exposure to any asset, regardless of whether it's Matic or anything else, probably not a bad idea just to expose yourself a little bit grab a small bit of the bag just to help with that psychological aspect if things do carry on rallying. Of course, probably not a great idea to go all in at the moment, but of course, not financial advice. You've got to make those decisions yourselves along with the TP areas. Nice. This is just a nice little visual aid to help you out in identifying those key areas. But as I say, implement any strategy you want, but just make sure you take profits and don't be that person that leaves it all on the table, because going back to all-time highs isn't guaranteed, certainly not breaking them either. So hope you enjoyed the video. Please like the video if you enjoyed our content, and consider subscribing. We've had a lot of support over the past few weeks. I really do appreciate it. Drop in the comments below any pairs you'd like us to cover, and we'll certainly get around to looking at them. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll catch you on the next one.